best place to see them. So if you are on Facebook, hello, we're making a Greek style stew with orzo. It's super simple, even kids can make it. I want to make sure that everyone is getting involved in cooking during this period of time where we're all in our houses. And it's so simple that teenagers, whatever level of cooking you're at, you can make this at home. All right, and it's got that 3-2-1 method of 3 portions of fruit and vegetables per person, 2 servings per recipe, and all using 1 pan. Simple as. It doesn't have to be complicated. Healthy eating has become a mass of misinformation about what diet to follow, and macros and calorie counting and all the rest of it. You just need to follow a 3-2-1 method, and honestly you'll be hitting all those principles of healthy eating, of plants, fiber, color, variety, eating whole foods, and eating in time as well. So this is brilliant. Oh, the Sunday mystery is 8th day cooking, 8th straight day cooking. So thank you very much for joining us. Brilliant. We've got someone from Dublin as well. All right, let me talk you through the recipe. So like I said, it's a Greek style stew with orzo. Although I don't have orzo, I've only got casserole because I'm isolating at the moment, still suffering unfortunately with COVID. So I don't have access to everything that I'd like to have at the supermarket. So if you are out and about shopping supermarkets, you might have access to this. But if you don't, and if you don't have casserole, you could just use spaghetti and break it up into little pieces, totally fine. Salt, pepper, I've got some dried oregano, although dried thyme would also work, or dried mixed herbs, absolutely fine. I've got a little bit of red chili flakes. This wasn't in the recipe, that's on my newsletter. But if you do have some chili flakes and you like it a little bit of heat, then add some heat. But if you're cooking with kids and they don't like the heat, then you don't need to use that. Got a touch of honey just for some sweetness, because we're using celery here. There's about 160 grams of celery that I'm going to finely chop. Cinnamon, bay leaf, can chopped tomatoes, some olive oil. In the recipe I've put white beans, but I've actually cooked black-eyed peas from scratch. And so I'm really keen to use this because I love black-eyed peas and I love cooking the beans from scratch. And as I've got a lot more time on my hands, I'm cooking beans from scratch, like dried beans, soaking it overnight, and then putting it all in. All right, so first things first, let's get your pan on a low to medium heat. We're going to chop up these celery sticks. You can dice them, but if you don't want to dice them, that's totally fine. This, if you are cooking with kids, I wouldn't let them go haywire on the knife here, so I would just do that yourself. And a lot of people ask me about getting veggies into kids and the easiest way, or what veggies work best. Basically anything you can grate, put it in there and sneak it into the sauce that I'm making at the moment. If they don't like beans, then you can also blend it up into a puree and make it a dip. I would always come back to different foods as well. Just because they don't like it age 3 or 4 doesn't mean they're going to continue to dislike it age 5 or 6, particularly if you try it in a different way. So broccoli, for example, you can steam it, but you can saute it, you can roast it, you can blend it, you can put it into a pesto. There's so many different ways in which you can get this into their diet. It's a very important ingredient. So don't ever dismiss an ingredient entirely, and you can always come back to it as well. All right, so this is going to go into our pan. I'm going to throw some olive oil into that as well. The celery is, again, a fantastic source of fiber. A lot of people see this as like a 0 sort of calorie food. Yes, it's mainly water, but the fibrous stems that I don't want to throw away, those are absolutely fantastic for you, nurturing your gut microbes, which is exactly what you want when it comes to supporting your innate immune system. A lot of people have asked me, you know, what I'm eating these days now that I've got the dreaded virus. And my honest answer is I'm eating exactly what I tend to eat. It's a lot of fiber, a lot of color, mostly plants. And I'm not really thinking about it too much, if I'm honest. I'm just plodding along. The only thing that I am sort of adding, I guess, to my regular diet is broths, tons of broths, loads of ginger, garlic, thyme, sage. I made one yesterday, I put it on my Instagram. Salt, pepper goes in. We're just going to move the celery around the pan as well. Now that we've got all those in, just get it all mixed in with the seasoning. If you're cooking along, don't worry if I'm going fast, because there's plenty of time to catch up, because this literally cooks down for around 10 to 15 minutes depending on the type of pasta that you're using. So there's plenty of time to catch up, so don't worry. So into this goes a mixture of different ingredients. So got some dried bay leaves. If you're using fresh bay leaf, much better. The flavour is a lot better, but I've only got dry. Using a cinnamon stick. If you don't have a stick, just use about half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. That works fine. Going to go in with some cumin seeds. This is a bit of a wild card, but I do like cumin, and they do use it in Grecian cooking as well. And then I'm going to go heavy with the oregano. I can't remember how many teaspoons I put in the recipe, but I tend to put in about 2, maybe 3, I don't know. But it's not for everyone. I do love oregano though. Okay, so mix those flavors around. And I'm just going to turn up my pan because I'm using a really odd shaped pan for tonight's dish. I don't know why I chose this one. And it doesn't always get the heat distributed across the bottom of the pan quick enough. But we're putting that up. Let those infuse. And I'm going to go in with a tiny bit of, oh, I need balsamic vinegar as well. Yes, balsamic vinegar. So I'm going to let that just cook away for a second whilst I talk to you about the other ingredients. So we're going to go in with tomatoes, chopped tomatoes. You can also use fresh, but you might need to just cook it down a little bit longer so they break away and they release all the nutrients and they break down into the stew here. I'm using the black eyed peas, like I said. To sweeten this up a little bit, we're going to use a touch of honey. This is optional, especially if you're doing the no added sugar program that Professor Michael Goran and Dr. Emily are doing at the moment. Then you don't need to add the honey. It is generally sweet enough, but I do like a touch of honey, particularly if I'm using a tiny bit of chili flakes there, which I am. Just about a teaspoon or so. If anyone's cooking along on YouTube, just send me a yes, I'm cooking, or any indication that you might be. Oh, you've just ground up your cumin specially, and then you said seeds. Oh, sorry, lady. You can use ground cumin or seeds. So I should have said that in the recipe. My bad. You can use ground or seed. I'm being lazy, if I'm honest, Lady Frog. Apologies for that. So I'll show that comment. I can see that there. Brilliant. Sorry about that. But yes, you can. You can also put pepper and onion in now as well. Absolutely, you can do. Okay, in this goes. All right. Whilst this is cooking, what am I gonna do next? Sorry, my COVID brain. Touch more seasoning. I'm going to go in with the chopped tomatoes. That was the next option. Chopped tomatoes and the balsamic vinegar. The balsamic vinegar gives that beautiful acidity, and that's what marries quite nicely with the honey as well. So those two are always good to match up, and then goes in the beans as well. So I'm going to do that now. Just make sure this is all sort of, yeah, so this is got a little bit of colour in. The celery have got a vibrant green colour, and that shows, you know, you're really bringing out a lot of the flavour that way. By cooking it slightly rather than just throwing it in raw. A touch of water. I'm going to put a tiny bit of water in this just to empty out the can and get some more of that liquid. In that goes. In go the beans, whatever beans you're using, white beans, chickpeas, cannellini beans, those are absolutely fine. I'm using black beans today. These are ones that I've cooked because I've got lots of time on my hands. Touch of honey, optional. Oh, you lost me again. Oh no. For some reason my YouTube has gone down again. Oh no. That is so annoying. Oh no, let me see if I can go live again. Oh, my YouTube channel. Oh. I think it's because everyone's using Wi-Fi these days at this time as well. Ugh. Okay, let's see if I can go back up. Sorry guys on Facebook, you're probably like, I can see everything. Dismiss that. And this is all taking a while. Wow, YouTube streaming is terrible. I know we should be appreciative of technology these days, but you can get me on YouTube. I can't get you on YouTube. Yeah, this is super annoying. And it's in the middle of my cooking. Can't YouTube tell I'm cooking? Let's see if I can go back. No, this thing isn't working. And my food's burning. It's not burning, it's alright. It's very forgiving. Okay, let's go. Honey goes in. I'm going to try and get the YouTube guys back if I can, but I'm trying to do multiple things at the same time here. It's like being at work. Put in the honey, put the balsamic vinegar in. If you are cooking along on YouTube, on Facebook at least, just put the honey and balsamic vinegar in and bring that to a lovely simmer. And this is what you should be looking at the moment. Just all the ingredients there in the pan, simmering away, ready for the orzo to come in a second, or the casserole, which is what I'm using. Okay, let's just see if I can go with my webcam now. Oh man, this is terrible. No, that's not what I want. No. No! Just stream now. Create a stream. To go straight on my stream. Public, anyone can see it. And create stream. Let's see if this works. Okay, I'm gonna have to bring my computer in. Sorry, guys. Greek stew 2. Okay, let's see if that works. Create stream. I'm very impressed with myself, the ability to do all these things simultaneously. Okay, let's see if I can go live. Come on. Says connect streaming software, and that doesn't make any sense. Okay, I'm just gonna have to stick with without YouTube for now, unfortunately. That is really annoying. Okay, fine. So if you are following along on Facebook, you just need to put your casserole or your orzo or whatever, or broken up pasta, fusilli, whatever you like. This just goes in here. Mix it around, and I'm going to add a touch more water just because the pasta type that I'm using is a little bit bigger than orzo. Orzo would just fit into the nooks and crannies between your beans and everything else quite easily, but this casserole that I'm using is not as forgiving, so unfortunately we're going to have to use a little bit more water, but that will get cooked off anyway a little bit later. So, okay, let's see if I can fix this. Come on, just go live. No, that's not going to work. I don't think that's going to work. Sorry guys on Facebook, you're probably sick to death of me watching me just trying to figure out how to use my YouTube. Can't I just go live on YouTube now? It doesn't make any sense. Shows it without no data. No, it's not going to work. Okay, cool. It's just you guys on Facebook. Hopefully, if you're still there watching me figure out YouTube, all I've done, just to recap, is sauteed the celery in with some dried oregano, bit of cumin seed, salt, pepper, mix that all together, and then I've added the beans, the chopped tomatoes, and a little bit of chilli, and then thrown it all together, and then added the pasta that I'm using, which is casserole, but you can use orzo, whatever you want. The recipe is always going to be on the newsletter as well, so do check that out. And if you want the recipes in advance, just sign up to the newsletter and you'll get them a couple of days in advance. And regardless of whether you are cooking along live or whether you're cooking along and then it shuts out like it has done on YouTube twice now this week, then yeah, you've got the method there, so you don't need me essentially. If you guys do have any questions, I'm going to try and reach over to you guys on Facebook and see if I can actually get through to them, but it's super hard for me to see because the camera's so far away. I'll try and move that in front now. Let's see if I can put you guys on this screen instead in front of me. Oh, your 8-year-old is cooking along. That's so nice. That's so nice to hear, Amanda. That's brilliant. And you switched over from YouTube. Hi, hey, how's it going? I think, you know, I might end up just doing it on Facebook at this rate, because the YouTube is just so, it's so unreliable, and the software I'm using is, yeah, it's really janky as well. I don't know if anyone has actually got any experience of using YouTube at all, but it's really, yeah, it's really not good. So I don't know what to suggest in terms of how to rectify the dropouts in YouTube, but the YouTube sort of setup is terrible. Anyway, so we've got this cooking along. We've basically put everything in it: tomatoes and the honey, a little bit of chili, and then to finish it off with, we're going to use a little bit of parsley that I've got here. Just make sure this isn't boiling over. That's fine. We've got a little bit of parsley, or you can even use basil as well if you want to use basil. That would work absolutely fine. And in addition, and this is optional, if you wanted to keep it completely vegan, because I know a lot of people are doing veganery right now, you don't need to add the feta cheese, which is what I suggested in the method, so you don't need to add that. But if you do want to add feta or even parmesan, that would work absolutely fine as well, so you can definitely check that out too. But yeah, let's see if I can see any. The live on YouTube didn't work either. Yeah, I know. Facebook is fine actually. I think Facebook kind of just works for most things, and what I might do is improve the setup so the lighting is a bit more for you, and I'll bring it forward as well, so you can actually ask questions on Facebook and stuff if you have any questions. If you don't have questions, that's totally fine. But yeah, I think my YouTube is working again, but I think I'm just gonna have to stop it. That's a shame, guys. Sorry. Cool. So let me see if there's thing is. Yes. Yeah. No. Facebook is fine. It's reliable. It's a lot more reliable than the YouTube streams here. So what I'll probably end up doing is doing it on Facebook and then putting the saved video onto YouTube so you can watch it afterwards easily. It just makes it easier to peruse for you guys. But I'm hoping 6 p.m. every single day, Monday to Friday, I'm trying to be here. So hopefully we'll do it on Facebook tomorrow just from the start, and then maybe even Instagram Live as well if people want to voyeur from there as well. But let's see how the pasta is doing. If you are cooking along, let me know how your orzo shouldn't take as long as the the pasta that I'm using. The pasta I'm using is actually gluten-free pasta as well, so it might take a little bit longer than the pasta that you're using, so more than 10 minutes, but always just check, go along and check. And if it does need a little bit of water, or you need to turn it down a bit because it's being a bit too vigorous when boiling, just remember to do that as well. But this is very, very easy. It's a very, very simple recipe. It's full of fibre. It gets kids involved as well. That's exactly what we need to do more of. We need to get kids involved in the cooking process, particularly when it's something as fun as things like pasta. They've got little bits of like interesting veggies in. And like I said, if you are struggling to get your kids to eat veggies, you need to get really accustomed to your grater, because your grater is going to be your friend when it comes to sneaking in vegetables. And a lot of people think, you know, well, if I'm grating it, isn't that just like pureeing it or juicing it and you remove the fibre? It's not as bad as that, because you actually retain a lot of the nutrition in the plant by just grating it, because you're not taking the fibre away, you're still putting the fibre in, you're just macerating it, so you're making that digestive process a little bit more processed from its original form. But you know, in the context of getting more kids involved in cooking, it's worth that sort of trade-off. Cool. Yeah, there's so many things that pop up there, and I don't know whether they're comments or whether they're things that saying. This still needs another minute or so, but it's coming on nicely. And the flavour is perfect. It's exactly what I want. Exactly what I want for now. Put this on one side. Oh, I'm going to drizzle with olive oil right at the end as well. And that's all we need. Yeah, YouTube is playing up. Let's see. I think it's just from, oh, your son doesn't like the taste of tomatoes. Would I just replace with veg stock? Would you just replace with, if you replace with veg stock, it would be quite watery. So I would suggest actually, if he likes courgettes, that could be another option with a little bit of veg stock. So with the courgettes, again, I would chop it up nice and finely, put it in, or you could, and it will go with this beautiful vibrant green color as well. You could puree it in a food processor and then throw it in, and that way that's kind of like your sauce instead of the tomatoes. That's one suggestion. Otherwise, I can't really think of any other way of mimicking this kind of stew. And a way of thickening it, if it is a little bit watery, is putting in a teaspoon or so of corn flour to actually to thicken and make it a lot more voluptuous in terms of the sauce. Tahini would also do that as well if you have tahini and they don't have any allergies. Those are kind of like my suggestions. But yeah, it's a tricky one when they don't like tomatoes. Kids can be super fussy. I get this a lot from parents asking, you know, well, they don't like this, they don't like that, so what other things could I add? It's tough. It is really tough. Yeah. Okay. All right. So my pasta looks like it is pretty much done here. So all I'm going to do to finish it, I'm going to try and put some space over here so you guys can see what it looks like right in the middle here. But parsley goes right on top, like so. I'm going to leave some garnish at the end, but let me move this in front of you guys so you can see exactly what it looks like. There we go. So this is my Greek style orzo. Super easy to do. Even kids can do it. Very, very simple. Everything in one pan. Even if you wanted and you were feeling inclined to like not do any of the chopping at all, you could literally just throw everything in and let it cook down itself. It's that simple. Honestly, do go try it. Let me know how you get on with it. Let me know how the kids get on with it as well. See if I can tilt it for you guys so you can see everything in there with the parsley on top. And if they don't like parsley, you don't have to put the parsley on, that's totally fine. It's just me being chefy. But, and I love parsley. But let me know how you get on with it. Drizzle of olive oil at the end as well. Tiny touch extra seasoning if they want extra seasoning. But honestly, it's one of those dishes that really does take care of itself. And enjoy it. Let me know if there are any... I'm on YouTube but a bit behind. I don't know where I am. I don't know where I am. But yeah, no, let me know if you want any other recipes similar to that, or ones that are geared more towards kids or fussy eaters or anything like that. Let me know, and then I will try and do those too. I can't see any of this. Sorry, I can't see any of the questions because it's really, really far away. So apologies again for the technology. It might be my COVID brain as well that is messing things up, so apologies. But thank you for your attention, and my sense of taste and smell is still there as well, luckily. So I promise you this dish tastes nice. Cool. All right, well, have a wonderful evening. Stay safe, stay at home, and I will see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. See ya.